Welcome back to my Madden 23 relocation rebuild with the Oklahoma City Bison. Today we are ready to kick off Season 2 by starting this preseason. We were able to add a lot of help to this team during the offseason. Guys like Antonio Gibson, Darius Slayton, Naheem Hines, and then we also drafted George Carson with the 6th overall pick in the draft, and I think he's going to be a pretty solid tight end for us. Last season was a pretty big struggle for franchise quarterback Greg Knox. He threw for a little over 4,000 yards, 17 touchdowns, and 22 interceptions. During the offseason, we also fired our offensive coordinator, so with bringing in a new one, I am changing our offensive scheme and our offensive playbook. Hopefully this helps us be a little bit better. The Bengals playbook says it's built around a lot of running plays and quick passes, which is honestly what I think this offense is built for. We need to get the ball out quickly to guys like Darius Slayton, Deshaun Slaughter, Jamarcus Tompkins, and Coco Johnson. I decided to keep the defensive scheme the same because it is one of the better schemes in Madden with one of the better playbooks, and I did add a few players to this team, so let's go over that. I brought in quarterback Carl Thomas to be a camp arm and most likely end up on the practice squad. As of right now, Donnie Westerman will probably be our backup quarterback and Andy Dalton will most likely be our third string. I also signed 2 undrafted free agent running backs. The first one is Ben Burst out of BYU, and then we have Robert Sutherland out of South Dakota. You can see some of the ratings here. The main reason I brought in Robert Sutherland, he has 85 carrying and 80 ball carrier vision and 78 trucking. I think he could be a really good goal line situation back. And then I brought in Ben Burst because, well, I just kind of like some of his ratings. 91 speed, 87 acceleration. I think he's going to be pretty solid. There were 2 undrafted free agent receivers that I brought in. The first one is Casey Ryans, and then we have Lionel Shelby. They have both decent ratings, 91 speed to 90 speed. We'll see a lot of these guys in the preseason. I also brought back Ladarius Rowland. He was on the team last season, and I found him in free agency again. Dan Mason was on the team last season. I brought him back as a 63 overall to back up Kevin Donald, who ended up being one of our best players last season. I believe he's actually the highest rated player on the team currently. And then at right end, I brought back Abdul Shelby, who was on the team last year, and I signed undrafted free agent Alexander Lane. The only guy I brought in that is probably immediately going to start is defensive tackle Jordan Phillips, and I do have a decent reason for bringing him in. He went to college at OU, so maybe he'd want to come back to Oklahoma, and I paired him up with Neville Gallimore, so our starting defensive tackles are both OU alumni. Defensive back Ricardo Lynch was on the team last season. I believe he actually led the team in interceptions, but I found him in free agency and brought him back, and also brought in undrafted free agent Josh Bryan. Free safety is our lowest rated position right now, and we have Chris Bryce, who we drafted in the first draft. He is a 67 overall currently. I signed undrafted free agent Trey Diaz. I actually considered drafting him in the 6th or 7th round, ended up passing on him but found him in free agency, so figured why not bring him in. We drafted David Hayward, who was actually injured, I guess, after weekly training. That's not great in the first week of the preseason. And then I also signed undrafted free agent Sterling Samuel. We were able to sign safety Ryan Neal in the offseason, but I also signed undrafted free agent Elton Dawkins, who comes in as a 68 overall. I do want to circle back to free safety though. Like I said, it's the lowest rated part of the team. Chris Bryce is probably the best one at a 67 overall, 85 speed. His play rec is a 69, which isn't great. Zone coverage is a 70, same with Trey Diaz. We come over here, their tackle is 67 and 65. And then Chris Bryce does have a pretty high hit power of 80. But we drafted Felix McGee in the 3rd round of the draft as a cornerback. But if we look over here, he has 90 speed, 68 zone coverage, so it's a little bit lower than theirs, but he has much higher play rec at 75. His tackle isn't great, but I think we're going to move Felix McGee over to free safety and see exactly where his rating goes. He is currently a 72 overall, so if we go in to edit player, and I want to show you guys this so you know this is the only thing I'm changing. We change it to free safety, we back out and save changes, we go over here and he is now a 72 overall free safety and easily the best one on the team right now. With that change, I really like the way the defense is actually laid out now, and McGee is actually going to get some playing time because he was behind Ross Bryant and Sidney Jones at corner. Now we can finally jump into the preseason. We will be watching a little bit of this game, probably super simming the rest of them though, and I will be changing out the depth chart and stuff like that to try to avoid injuries and see if any of these guys are good in simulation. We get to see the defense first. They started with a 10-yard gain, so now 2nd and inches. Giles back in shotgun. Last year's Rookie of the Year will find a man open over the middle for an easy first down all the way to the 49. Giles goes back in shotgun for the very next play. Rachaad White is the running back here. He'll take the snap and look to pass. A quick throw to the outside is caught once again, and that'll be brought down to the 45 for a gain of 6. That brings up a 2nd and 4. Giles comes back in shotgun. Rachaad White is the running back still. He'll take the snap and a quick throw to the middle, and that one's going to be intercepted on the play, and that is Trent Woodard, I believe. Just tried to lob it over the middle to Mike Evans, and Woodard jumped that one perfectly. If that's a sign of things to come this season, it's going to be a lot of fun. And now quarterback Greg Knox gets to take the field with his completely remade offense. He has a brand new wide receiver 1 and a couple brand new running backs. Let's see what Knox can do with the ball, starting the 44-yard line. That is Antonio Gibson in at running back for the first play, and he will drop back to pass. Hopefully looking for a quick pass. He breaks away from that sack, but will finally get brought down. The offensive line got demolished on that play. Not a great start for our second-year quarterback. Now 2nd and 13 from the 41. And it'll be a handoff to Gibson to the outside, who runs into his own blocker and is brought down in the backfield. Now a 3rd and 14. Knox back in shotgun. Not the drive I really had envisioned. And he's going to throw downfield and overthrow his receiver. I believe that was Jamarcus Tompkins, and we will punt it away after going 3 and out. The defense would, however, force a 3 and out, so it is now 1st and 10 from our own 39. Knox back in shotgun will be a handoff up the middle. I believe that was Nyheim Hines, and we at least have positive yards for the first time today. Never mind, that was still Antonio Gibson. I have Hines in as our 3rd down back, though. 2nd and 8 from the 41-yard line. And it's a handoff to Gibson up the middle again, and he will get all the way to the 47 to bring up a 3rd and 2. Now Knox goes back in shotgun from the 47-yard line. That is still Antonio Gibson in at running back, I believe. He's going to send him out wide, so now he is the only one in the backfield here. See where Knox wants to go with this one. He'll take the snap, looking for a quick pass to the outside, and that is knocked out of the air. There seems to have been a penalty called here, but it looks like Daryl Nix may have come up with an interception or a fumble recovery. Rookie Daryl Nix does come away with an interception in his first career game. Granted, it is a preseason game, but still nice to see that happen. We start at the Tampa Bay 34-yard line. I honestly don't know how much more we're going to see Greg Knox today, but so far it hasn't looked good. That is going to be a handoff to Nyheim Hines to the outside, and Hines will get a 9-yard gain. Knox will go under center with Antonio Gibson in at running back. It is 2nd and 1 from the 25-yard line. And it will be a play action to Gibson. Now he throws to the outside. That's caught by Gibson for the 1st down. He'll break that tackle and go out of bounds at the 22. 1st and 10. Knox back in shotgun. 5 minutes to go here in the first quarter. That is Nyheim Hines in at running back. He'll take the snap and drop back to pass. He throws down the sideline. That one will be caught by Jamarcus Tompkins out of bounds at the 7. Still have not seen a pass to our brand new receiver in Darius Slayton, but it's 1st and goal. And that is Antonio Gibson back in at running back, but that is a handoff to Deshaun Slaughter, who got absolutely popped to get to the 5-yard line. That brings up 2nd and goal, and now that is undrafted free agent Robert Sutherland in the game. We will give it to Sutherland up the middle, and he will fight his way into the end zone. Touchdown, Oklahoma City. We jump a little bit ahead into the second quarter. It is 2nd and 3 there at the Oklahoma City 8-yard line. All the backups should be in now. Their quarterback will take the snap under pressure, and he's going to get sacked on the play by 2 different Bison, one of them being Neville Gallimore. 3rd and 7. Now from the 13, Taylor is back in shotgun. He'll take the snap and looks to pass. Standing in the pocket, he steps up, goes over the middle. That's caught by his running back, but he will not get the 1st down. They will kick a field goal. For a player that is not going to get much playing time to try to prove himself, Chris Bryce made a pretty good tackle there. But now 4th and 4, they kick the field goal, and it is good, 7-3. We're probably not going to watch too much of him, but out comes the first pick from the 7th round, quarterback Donnie Westerman. And obviously we will see him with most of the backups in the game. It is 1st and 10. That should be Ben Burson at running back. And he will fake a toss play. Now looking to pass. Westerman steps up, goes downfield, and finds a man open, and he gets all the way to the 49-yard line. That is Vince Sawyer, our backup tight end. Now 1st and 10 from the 49. He goes under center. It'll be a handoff up the middle, and he gets absolutely blown up. That was Ben Burst for a loss of 1. 2nd and 11. Westerman back in shotgun from the 49. 9.5 minutes to go in the half. He'll take the snap and look to pass. Standing in the pocket, rolling out to the outside. He's under a lot of pressure, needs to get rid of it, and never does. He'll take the sack. So this guy seems a bit more likely to leave the pocket, but he never threw the ball away. Now 3rd and 14, and he's going to heave this one deep downfield, and that's way out of bounds. We will punt it away. Now we're going to start jumping around this game a little bit more. 3rd and 9 from the Tampa Bay 40. Westerman's in shotgun. He'll take the snap and looks to pass. He's under pressure but goes to the outside, and that is caught. Why was Sawyer that far out of bounds? We will punt that away. With about 2:15 to go in the half, they're at the Tampa Bay 35. Westerman back in shotgun for a 3rd and 6. He'll take the snap and looks to pass. He's under a lot of pressure, rolling out to the outside. Needs to throw it away or at least take off. He will take off for the first down. That is something Greg Knox does not do a lot of. Now 1st and 10 from the 24. Westerman back in shotgun, will look to pass. A quick throw over the middle, and that is going to be caught for a decent gain here. That is wide receiver Coco Johnson for a gain of 7. Now 2nd and 3 to the 17. He'll take the snap, and it's a handoff up the middle to Nyheim Hines, who will end up with the first down. 1st and 10 from the 12. Westerman back in shotgun, will take the snap and look to pass. And he throws over the middle, and that's going to be caught by Sawyer into the end zone. Touchdown, Oklahoma City. We take the lead 14-3. Right before halftime, it is 3rd and 10 from the Oklahoma City 21-yard line. Quarterback Todd Taylor in shotgun. He'll take the snap, and he's looking to pass. He's under pressure, throws to the outside, and that's incomplete, bringing up a 4th down, and they will kick a field goal. They bring their kicker back out for about a 38-yard try. The kick is away, and it is good, making it 14-6 as we go to halftime. While simulating the next half, they would actually drive pretty deep into Oklahoma City territory, but then Sidney Jones would come away with an interception. A couple plays after the pick, let's see if Westerman can convert this 3rd down. He'll run a play action. Now 3rd to the outside. That is going to be caught by, I believe, our backup tight end, but he gets nowhere near the marker. We will punt it away. We're going to go ahead and jump into the 4th quarter. It is 3rd and 4 from Tampa Bay territory. This will be Westerman's last drive before I put in, I believe, the 4th-string quarterback. Now he's going to lob downfield, and that is going to be Coco Johnson for the first down all the way to the 22. A couple run plays later, it is 3rd and 4 from the 16. Westerman will take the snap, handoff up the middle, and that is going to be Ben Burst down inside the 10. Westerman back in shotgun from the 8-yard line. That is Nyheim Hines in at running back here. He'll take the snap and look to pass. And he fires over the middle, and that's incomplete. He had Coco Johnson open. It is 3rd and goal this time from the 6-yard line. He'll take the snap, drop back to pass, throw to the outside. That is caught and powered his way into the end zone. Touchdown, Oklahoma City. That is once again Vince Sawyer. So we didn't get to see anything from the tight end that we took with the 6th overall pick, but our backup tight end is definitely showing up today as we make the extra point to make it 21-6. Tampa Bay attempting to fight their way back into this game. Down at the Oklahoma City 11-yard line, it's 1st and 10. Taylor out of shotgun will take the snap, and he's under pressure a lot, and he's finally going to get brought down by Oklahoma City back at the 16. Neville Gallimore's back there again. Honestly, I should probably pull Neville Gallimore out. He is going against backups, and he is one of our starters. But now 2nd and 15. Back in shotgun. Taylor will take the snap, a quick throw over the middle, and he will be brought down inside the 10-yard line by a host of Bison. 3rd and 8 from the 9-yard line. Taylor back in shotgun. Under 6 minutes to go here in the game. He'll take the snap and look to pass. Standing in the pocket, now finally throwing downfield, and that is incomplete. 4th and 8, they will go for it. We have a chance to keep them out of the end zone the entire game here. Taylor takes the snap, and Taylor's going to go to the back of the end zone, tipped in the air, tipped around again, and almost intercepted twice. I want to watch at least one drive with quarterback Carl Thomas to see if we have anything with him right now. 1st and 10 from the 9-yard line. He'll take the snap and give it to Robert Sutherland to the outside, and Sutherland will break a tackle and end up with a gain of 8 to bring up a 2nd and 2. Now in the next play, Thomas will line up under center from the 17-yard line. About 5 minutes ago, he'll drop back to pass, and he goes to the outside. That is caught for the first down to the 23. A run play and an incomplete pass later. It is now 3rd and 8 from the 25-yard line. He'll take the snap. Thomas looking to pass. He's under pressure, hit as he's throwing, and we will punt the ball away. The defense, however, would force a 4 and out, so it is 1st and goal from the 10. I just want to see if we put any more points up. Hand off to Sutherland up the middle, and Sutherland will fight all the way down to the 5-yard line. That will bring up 2nd and goal for Oklahoma City. 2:48 to go here in the game. Thomas goes back under center. Sutherland still the running back here. He'll take the snap and looks to pass. Drops farther back, standing a lot of time. Now he throws to the back of the end zone. That's incomplete. 3rd and goal with a 5-wide set. Definitely a decision that we made here. Thomas takes the snap, looking to pass. Dropping farther back, and he's going to get sacked on the play all the way back to the 17-yard line. So we will at least get to see new kicker Eddie Pinheiro attempt a field goal today to make it 24-6 with about 2 minutes to go in the game. The kick is away, and it is good. And that would be your final score. This was a pretty dominating victory, at least from the defensive side. We only allowed 6 points. This was a massive improvement from last season. Final stats on the day, Donnie Westerman goes 10 for 19, 151 and 2 touchdowns. Greg Knox goes 2 for 4, Carl Thomas 1 for 4. I didn't give Knox a ton of playing time, but he didn't do a whole lot with what little he had. Running the ball, Ben Burst 10 for 32, Robert Sutherland 4 for 21, and Naheem Hines 3 for 20 for 6.6 yards a carry. Receiving, Vince Sawyer was easily our best one, 4 for 41 and 2 scores. Coco Johnson 3 for 54, and Casey Ryans, an undrafted free agent, 3 for 56. Over on defense, Trey Diaz led the team in tackles with 7 along with Sidney Jones. Tackles for loss goes to Neville Gallimore. Sacks also goes to Gallimore. He got 2, Alexander Johnson got 1, and Dan Mason and Kai Minor, a rookie that we drafted, I believe, in the 6th round, got 1 or half a sack today. Never mind, he was a 4th round pick. Completely wrong there. But interceptions, Daryl Nix got 1, Sidney Jones got 1, and Trent Woodard got 1. The Buccaneers apparently threw the ball a ton today. Todd Taylor goes 24 for 49 in just 3 quarters. As a rookie, that is a lot to throw the ball in your first experience. Greg Giles goes 7 for 12. They combined for 3 interceptions. On the ground, their best one was Cam Akers, 9 for 44. Leonard Fournette, 7 for 33. Receiving, Ko Kife, their tight end. I don't know if I said his name right at all. 10 for 134, though. He had a pretty good day. And Matt Holcomb had a pretty solid day as well, 8 for 92. As we get ready for our second preseason game, the game plan going into this one is to let the starters play a little bit longer. I'm going to let Greg Knox play the entire first half. We'll see how he does. And then we'll probably give the entire second half to Donnie Westerman. One quick note before this game actually starts, though, is we probably won't be watching any of it. If we watch any at all, it'll be very little. Like I said, we're not going to watch much of this game, but we have 1 minute and 33 seconds and 1 timeout, so I want to see what kind of 2-minute offense Greg Knox can run. We're up 14-12 here from the 38-yard line. Knox will take the snap and looks to pass, dropping farther back. Now he's going deep down the sideline. That is incomplete. 2nd and 10 from the 38. Knox back in shotgun again. Antonio Gibson is the running back here. He'll take the snap and looks to pass. He throws to the outside. That's caught, and he's quickly brought down. That is our 6th overall pick, George Carson. Now 3rd and 8. From the 40-yard line. About a minute to go here in the half. Knox will take the snap, and he loads up and goes deep downfield and finds his man, but he can't hold on to it. That was Darius Slayton. There was no other situation to really jump into. We jumped to the end of the game. We win 31-26, and I'll tell you guys right now that undrafted free agent receiver Casey Ryans had one hell of a day. Both of our quarterbacks actually played really well in this game. Donnie Westerman goes 14 for 23, 172 and a touchdown. Greg Knox 10 for 15, 66 yards and a score. Running the ball, Antonio Gibson did find the end zone along with Naheem Hines. Ben Burst goes 8 for 23, and it doesn't look like Sutherland got a lot of carries, so I'll try to get him more carries in the next game. Receiving, Casey Ryans 5 for 96 and a touchdown. He just kept catching big passes. Lionel Shelby 4 for 45, and Darius Slayton got in with a touchdown and 3 catches for 27 yards. Let's see how the defense did. Leading the team in tackles is Sidney Jones yet again. Alexander Johnson got 5, Ryan Neal got 5. You know, Jones might actually have an advantage of playing the whole game because he is our number 3 corner and our slot corner. And then whenever it goes to backups, he's actually the number 1 corner. So maybe I need to change that in the next game. But in sacks, Alexander Johnson got 1, and then Trent Woodard and Kevin Donald got half of 1. Interceptions, Miles Bryant got 1, and Trent Woodard got another 1. Their starting quarterback, Taylor Heineke, goes 16 for 30, 166, 1 touchdown, and 2 interceptions. Their backup quarterback, Jeremy Bird, 7 for 13, 53 yards and a score. Running the ball, they could not do a whole lot, but DJ Dallas did find the end zone. And receiving, once again, couldn't do a whole lot. Tyler Lockett, 4 for 30 and a touchdown. Will Disley, 4 for 48. Now that we are ready to jump into the final preseason game, and we have already won more preseason games this year than we won regular season games last year, I'm going to rest all of the starters, so we will not see Greg Knox, Antonio Gibson, Darius Slayton, Deshaun Slaughter. I may keep some of the rookies in, but aside from that, we're going to see a lot of backups today. This game will be simulated a lot like the last one. If we watch anything, it won't be much. This game ended up going a lot different than the first two. Like I said though, I didn't really play any starters except for a few rookies here and there. So it's not really surprising that Dallas dominated this game. Final score is 31-6. Donnie Westerman came in and went 12 for 20 for 155 and a pick. Did not find the end zone today. Andy Dalton goes 4 for 9 for 42 yards. On the ground, Sutherland ran 7 times for 20 yards. And receiving, Lionel Shelby was our number 1 receiver, 5 for 84 today. Over on defense, leading the team in tackles is Alexander Johnson, the backup middle linebacker. I believe he played the entire game, though. Sacks, we got 2. 1 from rookie Kai Miner and 1 from Rasheem Green. The first time I've gotten to say his name in this video. We signed him in free agency. And we got 1 interception today, which was Alexander Johnson. For the Cowboys, their backup quarterback actually came in and played pretty well. Skylar Thompson goes 11 for 14, 133 and 2 touchdowns. Dak Prescott, who apparently got injured in this game, goes 22 for 34, no touchdowns and an interception. Running the ball, Ezekiel Elliott, 13 for 67 and a touchdown. Tony Pollard also found the end zone. Receiving, Kendrick Bourne was their number 1 receiver, 10 for 88 and a touchdown. But Dalton Schultz, 8 for 95. And then also, however in the hell you pronounce his name, got a touchdown. This season, I did not sign a ton of undrafted free agents, so we only have to make 7 roster moves here, and they're probably all just going to go to the practice squad. The first one is going to be 4th-string quarterback Carl Thomas. I said at the beginning of the video, he was essentially just a camp arm, but we're going to send him to the practice squad for now. One thing I didn't notice when I signed him somehow is running back Ben Burse has a star dev trait. No idea how I didn't see that. I'm not going to cut any of these guys. I just saw it as I was scrolling through. We are going to take undrafted free agent Sterling Samuel and move him over to the practice squad as well. I will also be moving 7th round pick free safety David Hayward over to the practice squad. Undrafted free agent Josh Bryan will also be heading over to the practice squad. I think there's a chance that this guy will be taken off our practice squad, but we're going to send defensive end Alexander Lane down there as well. The next player headed to the practice squad is outside linebacker Lawrence Mason, who we drafted in the 7th round. We have one more cut to make, and honestly, all of these receivers to me look pretty solid. Obviously, we just got Darius Slayton. He's not going to get cut. Deshaun Slaughter was our best receiver last year. He's not getting cut. Jamarcus Hopkins and Coco Johnson were a big part of the team last year. And then Casey Ryans and Lionel Shelby both played really well, and I still like Ladarius Rollins' rating. So that leaves wide receiver T.Y. Hilton. I brought him in during free agency. I said he may not even make the team when I signed him. We're going to go ahead and cut him as well. Let's go over the final 53-man depth chart. First, we have quarterback Greg Knox will obviously be our starting quarterback. Donnie Westerman will back him up, and then we have Andy Dalton as a 3rd string / mentor, so that way guys like Greg Knox and Donnie Westerman can get a little bit more experience every week. The main running back will be Antonio Gibson, backed up by Nyheim Hines. At fullback, I decided to go with Vince Sawyer just because he has a bit better blocking ratings than Ian Thomas. Wide receiver is a position that may change a little bit as the season goes on, but we have wide receiver Darius Slayton as our number 1, then Deshaun Slaughter, then Coco Johnson, then Jamarcus Hopkins, followed by Casey Ryans and Lionel Shelby. At tight end, I will obviously be starting the number 6 overall pick, George Carson. I'm going to attempt to do the offensive line in just one go here. We have left tackle Jerron Christian Sr. I hope I said his name right, probably didn't. Left guard is going to be Stephen Locklear, who's a 76 overall. Center will be Chris Lobato, who's a 73. Right guard is Drew Madden, who's a 74, and right tackle is Byron Conway, who is also a 74. Starting at defensive end will be Kevin Donald, and on the other side will be Rasheem Green, and then at defensive tackle we have Jordan Phillips and Neville Gallimore. The linebackers are as follows. At left outside linebacker, we will have Carl Tiller. At middle linebacker will be Trent Woodard, and at right outside linebacker will be rookie Daryl Nix. At corner, we will be using Thomas Ross, the 2nd-year player, as our number 1 corner at a 74 overall. On the other side will be Miles Bryant. Following them is Sidney Jones, Taquan Barnett, and Ricardo Lynch. Free safety, we will be starting Felix McGee, who is a 72 overall rookie. He will be backed up by Trey Diaz because I feel that Trey Diaz played a little bit better and has a little bit better ratings than Chris Bryce, despite their overalls. At the other safety position, we will have Ryan Neal, a 74 overall, as the starter. He will be backed up by 68 overall undrafted free agent Elton Dawkins. There was no competition here for these players. Our kicker will be Eddie Pinheiro, I hope I'm saying his name right, and our punter will be Rigoberto Sanchez. Jumping over to the specialist positions, Nyheim Hines will be our 3rd down back. At power back, we will be using Robert Sutherland, so I hope to see him a little bit throughout the season. Slot receiver is another one that could change throughout the year, but as of right now, it will be Jamarcus Hopkins as the starter. Coco Johnson will back him up. The main reason there is because I did change the playbook and the scheme to be a lot of quick passes, and Coco Johnson's short route running is not that great, so when he comes in, we really just need to throw the ball deep. Our rushing left end will be Kevin Donald, our rushing right end is Rasheem Green, and our rushing defensive tackles are Jordan Phillips and Neville Gallimore. No difference than our actual starting defensive line. Our sub linebacker will be Trent Woodard, and then our slot corner will start as Miles Bryant. That is another one that could change throughout the year depending on exactly how well he plays. But that will finally do it for the preseason video here. In the next one, we will be watching the Week 1 game against the Detroit Lions in Detroit. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video, and I will talk to you guys next time.